Alright, so for wall editing, we're going to the battle application section now. So if you do a single edit on a tile, you can take a shot right at your opponent's face right there. And then you edit it back. That's the whole point of these kinds of defensive and offensive build edits. If you do a triangle from the bottom side, you can shoot them there. Do a triangle from the top side, you can shoot them there. Usually I recommend windows because just in case you can't edit fast enough, you'll still have some place to cover. Whereas if you just do a triangle, you shoot the person, let's say you miss your shot, now you're completely exposed and you might not be able to get the edit right on time to like reset the edit. Oh yeah, that's one thing that you need to keep in mind. What I'm doing right now is I edit and then I reset real quick. The way you reset is with right click. It gives you the instruction there unless you have your bind set to something else. Alright, so remember we can do it on every side. Center. Oops. Center. Left side. Every single side, dude. All of them. Alright, so the way you can use your structures and your editing effectively in a fight when someone is trapped in a box is if you hit the wall and destroy it, you put your own real quick, you edit, take a shot at them, and hit them. That's the basic gist of that. Now, I know this isn't necessarily a beginner technique, but it's going to be really useful, especially since you just learned editing, and editing is going to be your greatest ally in becoming a better player. Alright, so stair editing. So let's say you're in like a small 1x1, a box or whatever, and you're trying to get like some good shots at a guy, then they start moving towards a different direction. If you're here right now, you're more exposed and it's harder to be able to get good shots and cover yourself at the same time. So what you usually want to do is you want to rotate the ramp. So in a battle situation, you just make sure that you can look at the arrows, or if you already have good enough muscle memory, you don't have to. So you click, you spin it, and there you go. Now you're on the other side. Just make sure not to drop on the below the floor, because that could, you know, mess you up instead of help you out. Same thing, they move to the other side. You just go ahead and rotate it that way. They move to the other side. You can rotate it in all directions because that's what we just learned. There's also the other part, which is, let's say you want to get out of the box. You're high up in the sky, or even if you're low here and you just want to take like a low ground position for whatever reason, looting, etc., and you just don't feel like jumping off. Or let's say your opponent's down here. All you gotta do, put it on the side, and now you're down here again. Alright, so for the more aggressive battle application, let's say you trap someone in the box and they're directly downstairs of you, right? So you can basically see them, which is the great thing about ramp editing. You can still peek and see where they're moving, but they can't shoot you. If they shoot you, they're shooting the staircase. Now, what you want to do is check on which side they are on, and remember how we said that depending on the color, how it lights up, that's the side where you're gonna have the staircase. So you usually want to do the opposite side. So he's right here and he's like aiming towards me. You can just do something simple like jumping to the other side, editing, and you take the shot. On the other side as well. You want to be quick about it too. Like, it's a good thing to practice your edits, because the faster you edit, the faster you can kill your opponent and make sure they can't respond in time, because it all happens within the blink of an eye. So let's say he's on that side, I'm here, that way I can get a little bit of cover before I jump to his side. Light up this side, take the shot, and you can edit back again and be protected. Meanwhile, he's still trapped down there. Or hell, you don't even have to do that. You can just be a little more sneaky and rotate the ramp to one side. And yes, while rotating, you can also do a single side instead of doing the whole ramp rotation. When you're editing, you can also go to the other side. So you can do a single line like that, and instead of rotating in this way and being more predictable, you can be very unpredictable by just simply editing this, and it's gonna rotate at the same time while leaving a single line. So you go ahead and edit that, take the shot, jump back up. Same thing goes for the other side. You can just let's say he's right there, you can just drop down directly on him like that. Or hell, you don't even have to drop on him. You can just stay on this side, edit back up, and you protect yourself. Alright, so remember how we mentioned that floors can double up as roofs as well? So for this floor and roof section, we're gonna show how these edits can come in handy. So let's say there's a guy right there in the box. He trapped himself, or you trapped him, or whatever. You place the floor right on top of him. Now you can edit, take a shot at him. You can move around and whatnot. Get an edit, close it back up again, so he can't shoot you. Get an edit, close it back up again. You don't have to do single tile. In fact, sometimes it's better to do double tiles. Like in this case, I want to make sure I get my shot perfectly. So I'm going to do 2 tiles. And I still have the space to edit. You gotta be quick about your edits as well. You see how I stuttered a little bit there? He could have traded the shot. That's why you have to make sure to do him as quickly as possible. Alright, so we do one more time, different side. And then we cover it up. Take the shot at him. We're in a better spot now. For roofs, same thing can apply. Now roofs can be used very offensively, and editing works great because let's say they put a what's it called, a floor. Sure, they can put a floor, but they still can't get out of that spot unless they go through the sides because you have the roof right here. So you can just imagine this is basically the floor. Edit it on one side, take the shot, re-edit, and cover it. Edit other side, cover it again. 2 sides, shot. At this point you get the gist of it. You can also, in rare situations, do double like that. Get a ramp up here, build a floor, edit this, and get an even cleaner shot while securing yourself. The only problem with that is they can of course just simply get out of there, right? So it's better to just try and edit 1 or 2 depending on the situation. So if we do 2, get a shot at him, do 1, and you take the shot. Alright, so for the advanced section we will cover this topic in more depth, but for now, an offensive use of roofs and editing is when you're ramping up to your opponent, you can actually block them, and I'll show you how in a second. So when you're ramping up, you can block your opponent like that on the side, and even if they put a floor, sure they can edit it, but they're not gonna be able to get out because it's your roof, not theirs. You can also block them here on the side with the wall, and now you get instant high ground on them. You're able to edit this, get some floor, some leverage. As I said, we'll go more in depth on that on the advanced section, but for now all you need to know is that you can cover your opponent's tracks basically and stop them on their foot by just putting a roof on top of them. Alright, so last but not least, we're gonna go over ways which you can practice your edits and practice your basic builds. So basic way to practice ramps, you just literally go to playground, make sure you can practice just building 1 or 2 ramps, just all the way up into the sky. Way to practice your floors, you can just go around, build like, do a little hand movements, and you can practice your floor placements like that. Practicing your walls, you can just make sure to do this kind of stuff. And I'll go over one by ones and simple building techniques in a different video. But yeah, just do simple stuff like boxing yourself in. And that's a good way to practice placing walls. Roofs. Roofs take a little bit more time to learn because they don't feel as natural since you don't use them that often in combat. Like, you're supposed to use them, right? But you don't necessarily use them all the time. So all you can do is basically practice just building roofs like that. Maybe make a ramp and then combine it with like a stair, like a floor, and then like put a wall, then put another stair, put a floor on the bottom, put a wall, all that kind of stuff. And then you can put a roof as well. Now for the editing part, I still do this every now and then. I try to use it for a good warm-up. So all you really have to do, think of it as any kind of drill. Like if you played any sport like basketball, football, it's basically those kinds of annoying drills that aren't really fun, but you still do them anyways. So for instance, do a triangle, then edit it quickly. Edit it back again, reset it. Do a triangle, keep doing it as well. Try and do it as fast as possible. Just practice, practice, practice. Easy edits like that. Also, Usually it's cool to just like do a hand jerking motion, which if you get into the habit of it can make your editing lightning fast. So you see kind of like that stuff. So yeah, basically just practice doing the edit and then reset it. Same thing with the ramp. Let's say you're doing this, do that, reset it, other side, reset it, other side, spin it, other side, spin it, other side. You get the drill. So for the floors and roofs, you can do those kinds of things that we did for the wall. So just like one tile edit and then reset it, two tile edit and then reset it. Wow, that was a delay there. So just like practice those things. Sure, they're tedious, but think of it as a way to just get the muscle memory in, because at some point you're no longer gonna be really thinking about the edit. You're just gonna do it, which is just natural in its way, right? See, like even I sometimes struggle with that, just because your muscle memory can take a while to adjust. So you just like edit, re-edit, edit, re-edit, or well, reset. Same thing for the roof. Single roof, re-edit, single roof, re-edit, double, re-edit, double, re-edit. In no particular order. Just do what you feel you might be having more trouble with. And also don't necessarily practice the builds, or sorry, the edits that are not as useful. So like, there's no reason to really practice the archway, because that doesn't come in as handy in most situations. So it's better to just practice stuff like, I mean, I guess the door you could, but I don't really recommend that. So practice things like the triangle. Hell, even you can practice the little squares. Like that, left side, right side, reset, right side, reset, triangle. All those neat little things. So reset. Remember, just make sure the muscle memory is there. That's all the whole thing you want to do for that. Alright, so thank you very much guys for watching. I appreciate it very much. Make sure to leave a comment in the section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the tutorial. And also in the comment section, feel free to suggest any kinds of build techniques you might be interested in, or things that you might not know and you want to learn how to do properly. So thank you very much once again for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.